right, welcome to the Effekt podcast, where we talk about everything, anything, and nothing at all. I'm Louie. With me is
Brien.
All right, man. So
Here we are.
episode one. Episode
We've
one.
been talking about it forever.
Yeah, I know. I've been posting about it. People probably like, is he even doing it? What's up with the Effekt? I have people asking me. I'm like, let us get a couple episodes in, and we'll post them all so you guys have some material, not just one episode to look at, you know.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, man. So let's talk about the podcast and why we're doing it.
Well, what kind of started from you? You know?
Yeah, that's why I should start it then. All right. Let's see. Long story short, I've been getting into podcasts lately. I did a couple with a couple friends. We used to have a One Scene, One Love podcast going, and I was a guest on it. And just talking bullshit and stuff. It was pretty cool. And I watched a lot of Joe Rogan's, a lot of different things on like UFOs and Neil Tyson, and you know. So I was like, man, I can do that. I want to do that. Like, just get a couple friends, make it fun, and just sit around and talk bullshit, basically. You know, I mean, getting people to sit down with you and talk for like 2 hours, you don't really get to do that anymore when you think about it, like in life, especially when as you get older. People are doing stuff. You got family, working, hobbies, whatever. You don't really get to have conversation. Like I'm gonna get to know you more doing podcasts with sitting down. I mean, part of the reason why I want to start it with you is because for people who don't know, this is Brien. He's my new guitar player in Project Luna, and we used to practice every Wednesday. Or kind of try to, you know, sit down and write, and you'd play guitar, and you'd come over to my place, and we'd sit there and talk for like 3 hours without doing any music, you know. After a while, we're like, I told you about my idea. I was like, I had an idea for a podcast. I mean, you'd have interesting conversations, and I was like, you know what? I was like, let's get this podcast going. And you didn't know really what podcasts were about, you know.
Yeah, everyone was talking about them, but I don't know. It sounded kind of interesting.
Yeah, I think after a while, like you were like, you know what? Like after we got some deep conversations, you're like, let's do this podcast. You're like, Louie, I think we should do it. I was like, okay, cool. You know, like I'm glad I met you and got you involved because you're basically my editor, got everything going for me, and I'm just like, all right, I gave you the idea and you ran with it. You know,
it's fun. It is. I mean, there's no holds barred. You can talk about whatever we want to talk about.
Yeah.
And nobody cares. Nobody cares what's, you know, I mean, it's going to be interesting to anyone. Yeah, at some point, someone's going to find it appealing, and I'm sure we'll create some haters on it too. I mean, like,
oh yeah. There's always going to be someone hating. I mean, I hate. I drink haterade every day. You know, I get on social media and I see shit, and I'm like, I hate that already, you know? But, basically, also, I mean, we have already done some podcasts. Let's just come out of it. This is episode 1, but you know,
40.
Yeah, we had to redo. This is probably like the third one we redid because Brien had a couple issues, deleted a couple things. I mean, episode 2 will explain that a little bit about what happened, formatting and losing some stuff. Because I'm sitting here trying to make this an episode 1. I'm like, dude, like I'm just gonna say it. We've had people already that we've talked. We know how it's gonna go. And in a way, it kind of sucks redoing it, but at the same time, I mean, we're getting a little better. I mean, The first couple of podcasts that we did, we were it was learning, you know, a little bit. Now I'm more up on my mic. I'm not like far away talking like this, and nobody can hear me, you know. I'm just like, oh, yeah. But now I know I got to like basically kiss my mic and stuff.
We're a lot more comfortable with it. And like I say, you know, when we have a few people on, everyone has something to talk about, and it's interesting. It's days in the life of people. I mean, we'll bring up some topics on the fly and stuff like that, you know, and get someone's insight on it, or even just, you know, an event that they went through, you know, previously. It's
so yeah, basically anything goes. I mean, we got toys up here, you know, we're gonna drink, they're gonna have some coffee, have a couple shots during, you know, the show, invite guests, and just basically bullshit. Now we want everybody who comes on, or even the listeners, like, just feel comfortable and like know, like, you know, I mean, we take it serious, but not like it's not gonna be like full blown like this is how it goes. We want people to come to this as guests and be comfortable and know like, oh, okay, we can talk, you know. So, but yeah, so that's basically why I started it. And plus, a lot of people listen to podcasts now. You know, I heard I heard it was a big thing last year. I think a lot of podcasts on the web like started showing up. A lot of people started doing it more and more on different like podcast sites. I guess you can say like they were just showing up on the web. It was a big year for podcasters. So, and they said it's just growing and growing. I think a lot more people, especially in this day, like hours of jobs. Some people work night shift. A lot more people work second shift or whatever, and they don't get to listen to news, on TV or watch TV shows, like, I mean,
Well, that's because shit. I guess if you're not doing cable, but cable break your pocketbook. But
well,
suppose it's
that,
on local.
well, that too. And then you got Netflix, you got Hulu, you got all these different Fire Stick. Now, like, you can control kind of like what times you watch your shows now. Now it doesn't have to be like, back in the day you had to wait a week or a month. I mean, we still have to wait months if you binge watch a whole season. But like, you could still like watch your cartoons whenever. You don't have to watch them cartoons. Like you don't have to watch them like
There's nothing wrong with cartoons.
every Saturday, or you don't have to watch tomorrow's episode and then wait a week and then here's next week's episode, And I think it's changing. A lot of people look on Facebook, Twitter, and Google for their news and information nowadays, and people watch podcasts on a daily basis, or listen to them and get like interesting facts off there and their news. I know I'm a fan of Joe Rogan's, and I listen to his a lot, and he usually drops one daily, kind of, and I get a lot of stuff from there, a lot of my information, and I like UFOs and aliens and
Sci-fi's good.
Sci-fi stuff and
Yeah.
ghost paranormal stuff. So I mean, that's what I kind of want to make this podcast about, like everything, entertainment, paranormal stories that people have, sports, whatever you're into, come in, talk about it. Any stories that, that you can think of, really, then we'll just go into it.
So, for our new viewers, our new listeners, a little bit about you outside of the podcast. We'll go back into it. Where did Project Luna begin?
Project Luna, man. It began a while ago, like 2006 maybe. I know I started a band back in like late 2005. We didn't come out to 2006. We were known as Illuminati then.
I still love that name.
Yeah. Well, it was cool for a while when no one really knew what it was, but like after a while, everything was Illuminati. It was in hip hop and pop stars, and I mean, it's always been hidden, but now it's like everybody knows what Illuminati and conspiracy theories is. I mean, the internet's powerful, so everybody just looks up shit, and like a pizza could be like a triangle eye, Illuminati eye. It got ridiculous. So I got sick of it when people would look up our Illuminati name, and
it's just flooded.
It was flooded with a bunch of conspiracy stuff and all this, and then nothing about our band. So it's like, you know what? Let's just change it. And I decided to change it back in like 2011 or something, and it came up with Project Luna.
How'd that come to you?
Let's keep this short. Basically, I was in the conspiracy. Our songs in the beginning were about normal life stuff and battling a spiritual battle, like believing in Christ or in Christianity, also dealing with like peers and, just doing, I think what anybody would say, normal living, being growing up and doing what you, basically doing, but like kind of battling that with like trying to keep your faith and being a good person, So I was kind of like the Illuminati name I was in. I wanted to talk about conspiracies in the government and God. But then after a while, like I kind of started drifting away. But then I was like, people who were depressed and stuff. So I was like, okay, Project Luna. I started thinking about names, and I was like, the moon lights up the sky at night. And I was like, okay, so it's basically like getting people out of the darkness, guiding them to the light. Because then, you look up in the sky, you see stars, but the moon's a big, bright one, big, bright moon. And it lights up. So I was like, Project Light, Project Luna, So I just came up with the name Project Luna.
I like it. It's cool. It's unique.
So
and I like the fact that it's spelled with a K.
Yeah, just to change it up a bit. Just a Luna effect. People are going to be like, Louie can't spell shit. Which is probably right. Yeah, but that's basically it. I've been involved with the music scene for quite some time. I kind of stepped back from it for a while, have my reasons, and, we created One Scene, One Love. For people who don't know who that is or what that was. I don't know if I should say was. I mean, it's still going on, but it's not as strong as it used to be. And we basically it was me and Ashley and a couple other people from the scene. We kind of got together and just started making like little get-togethers and called it One Sing One Love. You know, for people in the music scene to kind of. I think we'll talk about it more when I have Ashley and Billy on here, and we'll talk about the One Sing One Love and what it's about. But
yeah.
other than that, outside I just work and have a good time. That's it.
Yeah, it's days in the life of. So getting that static.
I think it's the phone. Is it the phone? You got your phone by you?
I thought I turned it off.
I think I might
There we
phone
go.
on there.
Can't keep them too close.
But
Yeah. Well, couple topics maybe to
you want to kind of
discuss,
talk about you though? You want to see
Oh,
what
life's
about
all
you,
about
man?
me.
Let's see. I mean,
It
I
revolves around me.
yeah. I think honestly, I think one of our
Our first meet was actually one scene, I believe.
Yeah.
I think so. Well, yeah, because I didn't know you until Tim kind of introduced me, and that was when I was with my previous band, and Tim was talking about your event, and so then we ended up showing up, and I don't think I met you before one scene.
Well, that was that at the Pipeline.
Yeah.
I think I met you at the Pipeline,
Mhm.
but I've met you before. When we changed the name of Project Luna, I think our second show maybe was with you guys, Die to Exist CD release party. We changed the name of Project Luna, and you were still in the band.
That was before that then. Okay. All right. That makes sense then.
You were Timmy's buddy and stuff then. So, and then after that, I ran into you a couple times at a studio and different things. But yeah, I guess I met you more at the One Scene One Love, and that's the thing about what the One Scene One Love was cool about. Is like it started a bunch of friendships in the scene. You know, a lot of people that didn't hang out before were hanging out and got to know each other, and that's kind of why we started it, or why I started it. Was like I was kind of sick of like going to shows in the local scene and not getting to know anybody, and kind of like, you know, you go out to somebody's on the stage and be like, oh, good show, good shit, you know, get your shit off. I want to move your stuff. I need to get back on, but good show.
Yeah.
You know, you shake their hand, and
It
some
very
of it wasn't
personal.
real. Yeah, and sometimes it didn't feel real to me because I felt like I would do it too. Oh, good shit, you know, even though I didn't watch the set. You know, and so I was like, okay. And then you get to a show and everybody's arms crossed, or they're in their little group, and you know, you already feel like you're enemies when you haven't said one fucking word to each other. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of got sick of that. And I kind of have a big mouth, or like, you know, I don't know if it's a big mouth, but like, I don't like to censor myself. I like to say how I feel sometimes. And I was drunk one night, and I just got on Facebook and tagged a bunch of people. I didn't even fucking know them. You know, I didn't talk to them. I was like, I'm going to tag this artist. They added me on Facebook. Well, I'm fucking tagging you. Tag. Made a whole thing about, like, I want to get together, get to know more people in the scene, become friends, and all this stuff. And that's how it started, the One Scene One Love. It's like, let's get together, meet at a B-dubs with a bunch of people, or have events, go to a bar, like, get to know people in the music scene, bands, instead of, like, at shows. And that's really what it was. Because, I mean, at that time, there was a lot of bands that were just, like, playing a certain venue. They would play Shamrocks. They would play only the Waiting Room, only Hideout at that time, you know. So I was like, I want to break that shit. I'm sick of fucking bands only playing one spot, you know. And then I basically tagged a bunch of people on Facebook and literally just posted a rant, kind of like, you know, I'm sick of this. And people got behind it and started making their own posts and tagging a bunch of people on Facebook. It was a big move that I think I started, and it blew up in like 2014, and it got to get in 15, and then after that, it kind of died down a little bit.
You know, I think there's a pretty good reaction after all that, because I noticed, and it seems like we're still like this, at least here locally in Omaha. When you do go to your shows, there's very little movement. And when I was up on stage, it kind of bothered me, you know. Never really talked too much about it, you know, outside of, you know, the band members, but it can be really discouraging when no one's moving, when everyone's just kind of standing around, you know. And then when you do get that motion where everyone is feeding off of your music, I mean, that's epic. But it was so hard, you know, to find that movement in people. Yeah. Everyone was. They'd just be standing around, and and everyone would clap, after, and hoot and holler and whatnot, but I don't know, I guess it was one of my pet peeves, and it kind of bugged me,
Yeah.
because when we were younger and we would go to these shows back in Sioux City. There was a place called the Legion Hall, and I remember a local band called the Chicken Hawks. They were hardcore punk. Punk was really big back in early 2000, and everyone moved.
Yeah.
Nobody cared what someone thought of you or how you moved. It's just that everyone moved. Everyone was excited. Everyone partook in it, and it was cool. That was a pinnacle moment for me to want to do the best I could to get up on stages to move those people, and it's tough to see that here.
Yeah. When we came out, it was like early 2000s were like really like good for like local music here. I mean, the River, the 89.7 River was involved a lot. And then they had like showcases every Wednesday where they like bring people on the radio and interview them that would do a show at Sokol Underground that night. But they would bring them on the radio. And then they had a lot of like events too. And they don't really do that anymore, And it's like back then it was fun. I'd go to concerts, people were moving and stuff. And it just seemed like to die out. Like, I don't know. I don't want to blame a certain type of music, but I just think like everybody just started had their own fucking opinion about stuff, Like, and then I think genres really fuck shit up because, like, it's like, oh, I only listen to hardcore. I only listen to rock. I only listen to hip hop. Like.
Yeah, it segregates.
Yeah, it does. And I think that kind of fucked it up. Like, like you said, you don't get movement. You don't get movement at shows because people are just sitting there, arms crossed, watching you on stage. And it's like, okay, yeah, they're cool.
It's kind of awkward in a way.
Yeah. It got like that for us a little bit too. I mean... But with the One City One Love thing, it changed because people in the crowd were friends. People
Right.
started, So you go to a show and what's up, get hugs and dude, what's up, and everybody was kind of talking to each other at shows, and it became fun again, I'm not saying it was never fun, but I'm just saying like it did change a little bit. It changed the attitude of the scene, changed the attitude of like people going to shows and familiar faces, and it was making like a family in a way. You go to a show and get hugs and stuff, but. I mean, I don't know. I think it's just people just have their own opinion about shit and judge too much now, like, in music.
What was your most memorable moment up on stage?
Man.
I'm sure there were a lot of them.
Yeah, there's a lot of, like, because I had a lot of good times on stage, man. A lot of different shows, especially when we were younger. When we came out, we did, one of our first shows was actual, like, the 89.7, the River, Wednesday night showcasting. We brought, I think we played with, like, if I remember, and this is crazy if I remember, Common Diseases of Swine, I think, some band from, I don't know, somewhere in Iowa. Idle Apathy. I think it was Shatterproof. And that Wednesday night, they said it was the biggest crowd we ever drew, but I was like, yeah, we brought, like, everybody from Brien High School there. Like, the whole fucking 06 class was there. And other people who were older and stuff that Brien, like, oh, yeah, these kids, okay, let's go watch them, And we just graduated, so everybody wanted something to do that summer. And we just brought a whole bunch of people down to Sokol Underground. And the bartender, like, told the dads and stuff, like, Dad, this is, like, the most we've seen down here,
That's awesome.
And so, yeah, and it was pretty cool. And we, like, when we first started off, of course you're going to pack shows. Everybody's like, yeah, senior year, summer. And, like, we had people going to shows, that watch us and support us. And it was some of the good times, Playing for POD or opening up for POD was a cool one. We played a show for Roxbury with Psycho Stick. That was okay. We had some good times doing that stuff, I mean, and just even like the parties afterwards or hanging out with people afterwards and stuff was pretty good. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's just some experiences that like not a lot of people get to have. And, and being on stage and doing like stuff that you wrote with your bandmates and knowing like people are feeling that shit, that's kind of a good feeling being on stage. And it's a therapy for me, kind of. Everybody has their own hobby. People go hunting, people go fishing, people go or have car parts. They work on cars, and race them. And just like I said, a hobby. Gaming's a hobby, Music is like a hobby to me. Like and it helps me I don't know, I guess be sane or something. You know, it's a therapy. So being on stage and performing is something that I look forward to.
Yeah.
And we haven't performed in like over a year. It's gonna be a year here soon. The last show that we did was last November, I think. With we played with Nonpoint. Yep, played with Nonpoint, which was a cool show too. It was one of our last shows. There were a lot of people there, and people dug it. You know, it was fun. Like the crowd was involved and shit. And you know, it was pretty cool. I mean, we opened up for Mayday. It's a hip hop act. You know, like they're on Strange Music. That was fun too. So I mean, I had some good times in the scene. So
Yeah, there's really nothing like being up on stage, and for all of you who have experienced it, you know what we're talking about. It's addicting.
yeah.
You know, it takes time. You know, there's a lot of effort, and definitely miss it. Definitely.
Yeah,
miss
we
it.
should be getting out soon though. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe a little more, couple more months. Fuck, I don't know. Project Luna will be out, man. We will be back out.
We're really trying. You know, it's the outside of chemistry, it's those work schedules. It's getting your entire crew together. For me, I like playing as a band. I, you know, definitely want, you know, the members there, and it's, we've used the term before, camaraderie, and it's really a big part of it for me. And I just enjoy being around the crew. You know,
Yeah,
it gives me a little bit more inspiration, and you know, you're gonna have some writer's block here and there, but it is what it is. You feed off of each other. I think that's important.
another thing too about like the scene and playing music is the friendships and the people you meet. You know, I've met a lot of close friends just from the music scene. You know, we relate to a lot of different things. You know, and are into. I mean, music's a big thing in people's lives, so we're into that stuff. So I mean, like I've met a lot of people that I consider best friends now. You know, real close friends, more than people I've known for years. You
Yeah.
know, and I think that's another thing that, like, you know, I appreciate from the music scene and stuff is the people I've met. Not everybody. I mean, I think some people are fucking dicks out there. You know, there's plenty of those motherfuckers that have fat vaginaism. And I call that fat vaginaism, but they have it's a real problem out there in the music scene, fucking pussies. But you know, not everybody's cool, but that's everything. That's an everything aspect of life. There's always dicks and shit, you know, and people who you think are pussies. But I'm sure people think that Louie is fucking douchebag, you know, and I don't give a fuck, whatever. But
I've never really seen you angry. I don't know. Maybe you're a complete dick.
No, dude, if I get angry, it's the Hulk, you know. It's a whole different me, I think. I don't know. It's a good thing you don't see me angry. I hope you never do. I mean, I hope you
Irish
never,
Mexican.
I won't, dude. Hey, the Irish and Mexicans get along, you know. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like I said, I appreciate the people I've met in the scene and the things I've learned, you know. I mean, there's a couple things I wish I could have done different.
Such as?
Oh man, I fucked up a lot of shit. Like even back in the day, just recording, spending money on a studio that we shouldn't even have been in. You know.
Is that over on? That was the one.
I don't even want. Don't even bring it up. I don't even. That's how nice I am. I don't even want to put it on blast. But not having a good CD, also not taking opportunities when we were offered them, and also probably like I would have worked with a couple different people in the band that were more driven in music, you know, instead of like holding on to something else. I spent a lot of money on stuff that, you know, I mean, I don't regret it that much now, but like I do, you know. But like even opportunities like we had an opportunity to go record with Sid from Slipknot, Sid Wilson. He thought we were cool. We were a rap metal band. I think someone from the local scene was doing stuff with him. It was after Subliminal Versus when they took a break, I think, for a while, and he was doing hip hop stuff because he's a DJ Starscream, and they wanted us to come to the studio and do a song with. We were gonna do a song with DJ Starscream, and I think his name was Jams. He was a rapper from here. They did stuff like the Gathering of the Juggalos. They go do shows at that festival and stuff. And I was like, oh yeah, we'll do that. That's cool. You know, they want to do this, and nope, we never did that. I never took it serious, you know. And they would, like, Jams would tell me, hey, dude, like, dude, I told Starscream about you, and they thought you guys were dope. You know, I was like, okay, cool, but we never took that serious. You know, there's other like little things that like that happen like that I've never, you know, we never had the right music, good recordings to give us people, you know, different people that wanted to work with us on music. That it would be like, yeah, that's cool, that's cool. Maybe it's because it was the young bucks in that time that we were, and kind of like, yeah, that's cool that they think we're tight, you know, whatever. And then you just go party, you know, and like forget about it, you know. And there's little things that I regret. I mean, one of the things that I'll always keep in mind, or made me feel good, I guess, is that Sophia John from 897 The River. And in a way, it kind of opened my eyes and kind of like made me think like, fuck, man. But she said herself that if I would have took music, and she didn't say this to me, but she said if, like, because she watched me a couple times in the years growing up, like, in the music scene and stuff, you know. She knew about me. She heard about my band. She's heard, you know, she's seen a couple bits in here, whatever, shows, you know. But she said if I would have took it serious and went out for my dreams, I would have made it big. This is from her, you know. Maybe not that way I worded it,
Yeah.
but coming from her, it kind of meant something to me, you know. I mean, the lady that helped Slipknot out and found him, you know what I'm saying? Like, for someone like that to say something like that about me, you know, like saying like, if I, like, I mean, it kind of sucks like hearing it in a way, but like it's saying like, no, this person would have took, I guess, seriously, or, you know, and like put everything into the music and went out and toured and did this, he would have made it, you know. And that's kind of like, man, you know, and it makes you wonder. It makes you wonder if you like things differently. But I mean, life is like, you know, you live and learn. You know, you gotta live it by. You can always get like lectures, and your parents can always say, "Don't do this." But the best way of learning is by doing it.
Yeah.
You know, and doing the mistakes and shit. You know, I mean, I wish I can be like Rick and Morty and just travel through dimensions and timelines and fucking go kick myself in the nuts. Be like, you better do this right. Boom. You know, beat the shit out of my 16-year-old self, 17, 18, whatever. I don't care. Like I said, it was good times, and I've learned a lot from different things in the music, you know, and seen a lot. So it was pretty fun.
Nice.
It's not too late, but I mean, you know, it's like more just like I just want to do it because, you know, it's a hobby, and then something that I want to keep doing for as long as I can, you know.
Well, it's tough to let go of, you know, things. I mean, they become such a part of us. I had to retire skateboarding, and still got all my skateboards and stuff. And actually, I have something a story I'll bring up. But yeah, I wasn't ready to drop, you know, my hobbies either. And it would have been cool to be a pro skater, you know.
Shit.
But
everybody wanted to do that back in the day, man. I mean, growing up, I think the a lot of people, older people, probably like, no, 70s and 60s, we were skating everywhere. But like in the 90s,
that was a totally different type of skating.
Yeah, it was just like riding around and like doing like, I mean, they were pretty cool, like wearing like fucking tube socks everywhere and short shorts. But like in the 90s, I think it blew up. It blew up, like especially like 90s into like early 2000s.
Well, there was breaks there, you know. It came in really heavy, and then it died out for like 4 or 5 years, and it came back again.
I think Tony Hawk Pro Skater, the game, had a lot to do with it blowing up.
Yeah,
because a lot, you know, it was like when the PlayStation and N64 came out, and everybody's like sitting there playing it. I mean, dude, we would. I remember like my friends, we'd get together and go skate, go to Roberts, go, you know, the skate park here in town, like, and go to schools. Oh, let's hit up this stair set at Gross, or let's hit up this, you know, and like skateboard everywhere. Go to school, skateboard. Middle school, I remember everybody was skating. We were all like the skater kids and stuff. It was fun, man. It was fucking fun, and just like you said, you didn't want to let it go. But after a while, after breaking a couple things and bones and getting older, I did. I had to let it go maybe a little sooner than you, but I was fucking breaking shit and falling, and I had to work. I was like, yeah, this ain't gonna work. You know, it's not when you're a kid. When you break something, your parents pay for it.
Well, and we were a lot stronger then too. You know, the flip tricks we were mastering those back in the day, and hell, there was a point where I could ollie over a stand-up trash can. I was, you know, sticking 15 sets of stairs, you know,
really?
From top to bottom, and grinding left and right, and it's you looking back on it, and it's like, man, that was, why can't I still do that? But yeah, it hurts to fall.
Oh, dude,
Fucking
fuck.
hurts to fall.
Yeah, especially like riding down a hill and you hit a fucking rock and you get that big old and you fly off your board and you see the mark on the concrete just scratch with the rock under your wheel and you fly off your fucking board. That sucked a lot.
Yeah, just dead stops.
I ended up quitting like street stuff, like street skateboarding. After like a couple, like I broke my foot, broke my ankle. I was like, okay, I'm done doing street stuff, and like I started getting good at like I wouldn't say vert because I wasn't flying in the air, but coping, just riding around on skating bowls and rock the fakie, tail, nose, like all these stalls and stuff, and going into the big bowl at Roberts and just doing stuff there and on a skateboard. And that was fun going up, and I got good at that, But that was probably the end of my skateboarding times, and I was like, yeah, I'm getting hurt, can't take another fall, and I got to work tomorrow.
I never broke one bone. And,
Lucky.
I stopped skating when I was 38, and I started when I was 13.
Yeah.
So, but almost broke 3 ribs. And you heard? Did you ever hear the actual story though?
Mm-mm.
Like we talked about part of the story, but the actual, like the details to my pinnacle moment of, okay, I can't do this shit anymore. That is it. Roberts, that's over there behind on Cass Street, over there behind Hy-Vee.
Yep.
Okay, so Roberts Skate Park, awesome, and it's still fun to just go there and photograph the really good skaters and stuff. But in any case, the story goes that one day I was just kind of really interested in going down and just skating, and I had a lot of shit here. I had my grind rails, and I had a little fun box, and just my own little skate park that was over here on our cul-de-sac or the dead end. So I just kind of warming up a little bit and feeling pretty confident, and ran down there and warming up for about 5 minutes, just kind of watching all these 12-year-old kids. They're just schooling it.
Yeah.
They don't have anything else to do. Other teenagers, 15, 19, whatever. And it's just super entertaining to watch. But it's influential. So seeing all this talent in front of you, you think you can do it.
Yeah.
You can't. So all it took was a 360 kickflip to come up shy on a 6-inch rise. That's all it was. My back truck got caught. I didn't get enough distance, and I went flying forward. Now, when you're doing laundry, you get that sock that's kind of stuck in your jeans, and you find it later on in the day, like, what the fuck? Oh, okay, there's a sock that's stuck in there. All right, so I had my sweatshirt on, and as the back truck got stuck on the coping, I went flying forward, and they tell you, relax, take the hit, relax, but nobody relaxes when they're gonna eat shit.
Hell no.
So my first instinct was to brace myself. So inhaled and put my arms in front of me, and I hit so hard on the concrete that I felt like I broke 3 of my ribs. I bruised my ribs to the point where I was out of work for a week and a half. But when I hit from my front pocket of my sweatshirt, Jesse's panties ended up flying out. Yeah. They flew out and landed, a couple feet from me, and that was the first thing I tried to do. I was like, oh, fuck. And I knew what they were, instantly.
Yeah.
So here I am trying to hold back as much pain as possible, and I could barely walk. So we try to be graceful and get up and, kind of looking around and see if anyone saw it, and I kind of reach over with this little energy left that I have and kind of grab them and stuff them back in and had my walk of shame, walked over about 20 feet and just kind of crouched down, and it took everything in my power not to just break.
Yeah.
But, it hurts so fucking bad. And that was the point where I was like, okay, after I thought that there may have been like some hairline fractures in my ribs, but it didn't. It was just heavily bruised, and that was it. I was like, okay, I can't do it anymore. You know, and it was tough, you know, because I've got a longboard, and you know, carving, you know, just street carving. It's still fun, you know, but when you can't do what you used to do, it just kind of sucks. So.
Yeah, I mean, no, when you fall, no one's gonna relax and like take a nap in midair and like, oh, I'm about to biff it.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
I mean, that's why a lot of people break arms, break wrists, because the first thing you do is, after a while, you learn the roll kind of with your fall. I mean, I know I got good at that, but it's hard. But like, there's sometimes where I'd like land and like I'd fucking land on my arm or something. Like, fuck, I shouldn't have done that, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, skateboarding was fun. I loved it.
It was nice. I mean, there was, if anyone saw it, they were hospitable enough to, you know, not say anything. You know, most of the kids over there are pretty cool. You know, I don't even think I ran into any asshole when I was there. They're just there to kind of have fun. So yeah. So, well, let's take a break for a second here. We'll be back in a moment.
All right, welcome back. Another thing, we're just going over the podcast and what it's about, what we're trying to do. Really, is just, like I said, just kind of bullshit with some friends. I'm going to invite some people in that I know and talk about topics and talk about things in their life, ghost stories, girlfriend stories, whatever you got, roommate stories, you know, some crazy shit, whatever you got.
That's a good upcoming episode.
Future episode. I could see it already. But talk about South Park. You know, we got a lot of toys up here and shit. That's another thing that's more like I want to incorporate my personality up on this thing about different things. So with that said, I get a subscription every month. People get different boxes. You can get different ones, Nickelodeon boxes. I know my friend Billy Peck, he gets a lot of different boxes. He gets a Nickelodeon box, and he gets like, I think like a DC box, collector's box. I only got one because it was like, it had like animated Batman series, like toys and stuff in it. So I was like, oh, I'm going to get that because it's a collector's box. But I get one from Loot Crate, and I upgraded to the DX. DX is a little more expensive than the normal Loot Crate subscription, but it got a lot.
You get cooler shit.
Yeah, you get cooler shit. So I was like, I'm gonna get this and see. So this one, I already opened it. They have a theme every month. Like last month's would be what, August was Kingdom. So they had like Zelda, Dungeons and Dragons, kind of like stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, you get like Adventure Time, I guess, Lord of the Rings. So that kind of theme. So this one's Robotica. I think it's like futuristic, alien space kind of stuff.
Sweet.
So I already opened it. So, but every time I get it, like I'll get an October box this month. It'll be near the end of the month, and I kind of want to open it up on the podcast. So, but this one, since September's done, and I already kind of opened this. We were supposed to open this on one of the last episodes, but we ran out of camera time, I guess, or video.
Little things we're learning as we do this.
Yeah. So with that said, I'm gonna open it up, and now this comes in with like a little toys and stuff. Heavy metal. I didn't know what this was, but you knew what it was, so I'll let you describe that, because I don't know. Like I got that, and I was like, what the hell? You told me it was an anime or something, right?
Well, heavy metal, very iconic anime that came out in 90. I want to say, I don't know my facts correctly, but I want to say it came out in the mid 90s, maybe even early 90s. Hell, you know what? I should probably research that because it was probably earlier than that. But in any case, there was a Heavy Metal 2000 that came out as well, and it was a revamp.
It looks a little 80s to me.
Yeah. So if you haven't seen it, you need to. The animation is definitely old school, but this is the Lord of Light. So
that's kind of cool that you knew what that was, because like when I pulled that out and you're like, oh, you don't know that. I was like, I want to watch the anime now. Like,
but it's probably showing my age. So
no,
yeah, we're going back. In fact, you know what? Let's take a peek, and while you're opening up the rest, I'll figure out when that came out.
I'll save the coolest thing for later. Oh yeah, and then it came out. This is an 80s toy. Little muscle. It has
oh shit, yeah.
Yeah, you remember this? You probably do. I don't, but I know what Mega Man is, and I played a lot of this Mega Man stuff. and it told me like it has a description on what you get, what toys you get, or what they are in the box. There's a little pamphlet in there. But I'm a fan of Mega Man. It was Shadow Devil versus Mega Man. Little toys from this is actual toy from like what didn't come out because I think they probably just did this for Loot Crate because it's exclusive, but it's from like an '80s brand, toy.
Yeah.
So.
What's the muscle is an acronym. Does it say what it stands for on there?
Millions of unusual small creatures lurking everywhere.
Lurking everywhere. Yeah.
So that's kind of cool right there. That it got that.
Yeah. So Heavy Metal, July 29th, 1981. So I was pretty far off.
Yeah. I was like, that looks really 80s. I was like, I looked at that. I was like, yeah.
But sweet anime though. It's pretty kick-ass. Everything kind of tied together.
All right. Then they also give you a T-shirt. That when you order the box, I think it's also on the normal subscription box. You get a T-shirt and some couple things, and this one's just an alien shirt. I don't know if I'll put it up there or something. I can show everybody.
Trying to figure out where to put all these at.
I would just throw them on the table.
Yeah.
But it's an alien shirt if you want to see it. It's one of those robot guys from the first Alien.
Oh, the Wyland Corporation.
Yep.
Yeah, Bishop.
Yeah, I think he was it the first Alien. The movie. Oh, I have to see.
Yeah, he was ripped in half.
Yeah, he had like the weird shit coming out of his stomach or whatever. It's pretty dope. I was actually excited. I thought they were gonna give me like an alien statue, like the Queen or something. Then this little box.
You gotta get the Elite Loot Crate in order to get that.
The Elite Loot Crate. I think this is the Elite. I mean, I actually was really happy about this box. I liked everything. I didn't know what Heavy Metal was, but now that you told me and you liked it, I was like, oh, that's cool. At least you knew.
Yeah, it is pretty sweet. And Heavy Metal 2000 was pretty good too.
I have to watch that one. This next one is a little box. It's Star Trek. It's just a little box, but they gave me socks. They gave me little Star Trek socks, which they feel kind of cool, man. I think they also got loot wear where you can get clothing from them. That's just a bunch of nerd stuff. But yeah, they gave me Star Trek socks, 2 of them, 2 pairs, and they feel really nice, like cool.
Yeah, that's
So the next thing is, I love this one, and a lot of people who follow me on Facebook or whatever know that I'm always like saying it's Morphin time, and I got to meet, thanks to Billy Peck, my buddy, at Comic-Con. I got to meet Billy the Blue Ranger, and see the showcase and his panel, and see a little bit of history. But this is Alpha 5. For any Power Rangers fans that know him, he's kind of like a Zordon's little robot helper that goes around and like kind of helps the Power Rangers, kind of like a mentor and stuff. Well, it says Alpha 5 scoops. So he has scoops of ice cream in here. And each scoop is basically a Power Ranger color, So I thought that was really cool, all 5 Rangers and stuff. And this was probably my favorite thing I've got from Loot Crate in a while. And anybody who likes Power Rangers will appreciate this shit, who grew up on it, especially in the 90s. But if they can see it on camera, it's basically Alpha 5 and the scoops, and he's just sitting there. You put that ice cream in his hand, and it's pretty dope.
nice.
I really enjoyed that one a lot. It's my childhood right there.
I got to see the new movie. People that I've spoken with that didn't really know much about Power Rangers or weren't necessarily into them said the movie was pretty good. So I have to check it out.
I'm a big fan of Power Rangers. The movie, it was okay to me. It was okay. I think it could have been a little better. There's a couple parts where I was kind of like, but overall, I mean, yeah, watch it. I think you like it.
Nice.
And stuff. So, but growing up with the Power Rangers and stuff, I mean, that was a huge thing. Like when I was a kid, everybody's like, "Oh, Power Rangers," and God bless my mom for getting me all these toys, and I'd hear stories about like people beating the shit out of each other just to get a couple Power Rangers, and my mom got me all the Power Rangers back then. I mean, it was a huge thing, and everybody was rushing to get these little toys, or these toys that were pretty big, actually. I don't know, maybe 5-6 inches tall, maybe a little taller, 7. I don't know, but she got me him. She got me him, dude. God bless her soul. I was
We love
happy
our
every
moms.
Christmas. I was.
I grew up on Transformers and Voltron and
See?
He-Man, and that's pretty tight.
This is pretty cool, dude. I'm excited about this because I was like, when I got it, I opened it. I was like, oh, this is so cool. Little Alpha 5 and stuff with the ice cream scoops.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that's the Loot Crate right there, Loot Crate DX. And every month I'm gonna get one, and I'm gonna open it up, and it can also bring topics. We can talk about it. I mean, Mega Man, I play that a lot on Nintendo. My favorite one was probably Mega Man X on Super Nintendo,
Which is not to be construed with Mega Man 10. They say the X ain't 10.
Really?
That's what I've heard. It. I thought it was too, and they're like, no, it's not Mega Man 10. It's just called Mega Man X. I'm like, but
Okay.
Isn't that Roman numeral for 10?
I think it's because he I don't know if it was X, it meant for the new suit he got, because I know you got every time people who played at Mega Man, you beat a boss and you get his powers. In Mega Man X, you would find pieces of this new suit that will upgrade Mega Man's suit, so he'll look all badass and faster and stronger. I think at the end you get I think the other character. Do you remember a guy named Zero?
Yeah.
With the hair, long blonde hair. I think you get his helmet at the end to complete the whole Mega Man X suit. I think that's what it was. But I love the Mega Man X games or Mega Man. It was pretty good, fun games.
Sure, it doesn't really say whether it is or isn't.
It might be. I don't know.
Known in Japan as Rockman 10.
Huh.
But is it the 10th installment?
I don't know. All I know is that one was my favorite one, and I still got it on. I still got my Super Nintendo too, but I still got that game, and I want to play it now. What else did I get? Alien. I like Alien stuff. I like the new Alien Covenant movie. It was pretty cool. You ever watch that yet?
The last one I saw was Alien versus Predator. And
Those are okay.
I didn't mind that one. It was kind of neat. I don't know. The acting probably could have been a little bit better from the female lead that was in there.
Is that the one where they're on Earth and they find an underground?
It's kind of takes place in, I don't know, way south. It's Snowland, and there was. She used the head of the alien as an arm shield, but yeah,
I gotta watch that.
I don't know if that took place in the Antarctic or what, but
I don't know. You didn't watch Prometheus?
haven't seen
Oh,
that one yet.
really? That's a whole different side of Alien. I think it's a whole different story. I know some people were mad about it. I guess I read or something. I don't know, but
What was it about?
I liked it. The beginning, the creator, this. Man, basically, from what I know, is like they're trying to look for like who are the creators of the human civilization. They go out in space and looking for stuff, and they kind of show you like the beginning of Alien, you know, where basically it came from. I think, if I'm getting it right. I know Alien Covenant showed you more of God, I forgot his name, David, one of the robots actually creating these alien creatures.
Oh, the androids.
Yeah, it was one of the androids,
Yeah.
but he took like this. I don't even know what they call it now. I think he, like the actual like chemical to make these aliens, and released it on this planet. It showed you like how it killed a bunch, and then it made different forms of aliens. You know how like in
It's
one
like
of the
slowly
movies,
evolved.
you know how like they made the dog in one of the movies that like the dog alien that kind of like took his body or whatever.
Yeah.
So it basically kind of did that on the planet. There was different forms of these aliens and stuff on this planet. He's trying to make like the actual.
So this was like a mutant strain that was created.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, like a mutant strain. And he basically released it on this planet and stuff, and killed a bunch of these alien beings that like they're like bald and pale, but like buff. I don't know. It was just a weird. You gotta watch the movie. I gotta clearly watch it again because I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But but I thought Prometheus was cool. It was like like at the beginning of time kind of thing of like Alien or whatever. And I forgot the girl part, but she ends up, spoiler alert, but like she's in Prometheus and she's not really in the Alien Covenant, but she is. She basically gets something happens to her. I don't know, but other than that, I thought those Prometheus and Alien Covenant were pretty cool.
See, I need those in movies. I need to know how things started. It's the beginning is the conclusion for me. Yeah, I like knowing how things, where the story originated from, all the prequels and things like that.
I think that's how a lot of movies are now. Like they just like do the movie and then like the beginning. This is what happened. They go back. So
Yeah,
it's
because
like,
you
this is
need
what-
that explanation.
has there ever been a movie where it's like the beginning, and then they get like actually goes in order instead of like we'll start on 5 then go back.
Yeah, the Fast and Furious
Oh yeah, they
set was back and forth, and it was kind of cool. I'm a pretty big fan of the Furious line, and
like Star Wars had a lot of different like times. Like they did Rogue One where it's like in between like
I dug Rogue One,
The
but I had a hard time with episode 1, 2, and 3. Now,
Even
4,
though-
5, and 6 was what everyone was raised on, and they were good, but I don't know. I should probably be careful with what I say because I'm not trying to create any enemies.
Darth Maul was dope.
Yeah.
I was kind of disappointed the way they killed him in the first episode 1, but I had a little debate on Facebook with some people, like, because he had the higher ground. If you remember that, like, if you have the higher ground, you get your ass kicked. You know, the person in the lower ground is gonna lose. Obi-Wan was on, like hanging off of the edge or something, and Darth Maul was on top of him.
Yeah.
Was it Obi-Wan Kenobi? Obi-Wan? Yeah, because Qui-Gon was the guy who was fighting Darth Maul, right?
Who was?
I thought it was like Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan was his apprentice at the time, and they were fighting Darth Maul, right? And Qui-Gon dies, Obi-Wan's hanging off, and then somehow chops Darth Maul. And he falls down his hole.
Was Liam Neeson Qui-Gon, or was he in? I think he was Obi-Wan's teacher.
Yeah, that was Qui-Gon.
Okay, yeah.
Qui-Gon Jinn.
I think we got our facts right.
Yeah, I don't know. There's gonna be some Star Wars people who are like, dude, these motherfuckers don't know shit. Well, whatever, man. Star Wars is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Star Wars is cool. And they're gonna be selling tickets for The Last Jedi here on Monday or something like that already. Which, I mean, Star Wars fans are big. I mean, there's a lot of them. I mean, different generations. I mean, it's a good little series. Still kind of mad that Disney bought them out. You know, or what's his name? The writer.
Lucas.
Yeah, Lucas sold it to Disney. You know,
Yeah, you
Disney's
gotta let go
becoming
of it
kind
at
of
some point.
monopolizing, dude. They're buying, like, they got Marvel and fucking all this Disney shit. And who knows what else they got that I don't know, you know.
But they are doing a lot of Marvel. They're bringing out, I don't know, I'm kind of skeptical about a few things now. I collected comics when I was younger, and I still kind of do, but I've shifted gears into more of like a adult sci-fi crime and kind of steered away from the superhero aspect. And not that it's bad, but they're bringing back some characters that were just straight fucking worthless back in the day. Nobody gave two shits about them, but now they're getting their own movie, and I don't know, we've got Spider-Man and stuff like that, you know, Captain America, and they're bringing the greats, but they're bringing back. I'm waiting for a Kitty Pryde movie to come out. Nobody paid attention to that character back then. You probably even don't know who she is, but
Nope.
she's just like when the collector cards came out. I want to say she was a character of the age of like 15, and yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of Marvel out right now.
Yeah. I mean, they're kicking ass in like the cinema and TV aspect,
Yeah.
I think. I mean, DC kind of fell behind. I mean, they no matter what, DC's gonna kick ass with Batman.
Yeah.
And Superman. There's Superman fans, but Batman's what's like, they can come out with a Batman movie and everyone's gonna be like, oh shit, Batman, let's go get, you know.
Which I'm a badass.
Dude, I love Batman. I grew up on it. I grew up on toys. You know, I'm never a big comic book reader, but I grew up on like the TV shows. I mean, the '90s, you had the X-Men. You know, oh man, too much coffee. But you had the X-Men. You had Spider-Man. That I grew up, the animated series of Batman. I grew up on. Plus, not to mention the movies. You know, and then as you got older, you had the Christopher Nolan style Batman movies.
I'm going to interrupt you here. For the record, what was the worst Batman movie, in your opinion?
Fuck. Batman. Val Kilmer, you didn't like his?
That was horrible.
He was third, right? Yeah, because Michael Keaton played the first two, which he is now Vulture and Spider-Man. He's not Batman no more.
I mean, I like Val Kilmer. I think he's a great actor. But yeah,
He kind of had like a bird chest and like when he took his shirt off and stuff. It was kind of a small Batman. I don't know. It was weird.
It was a strange one, but
God,
your
I
opinion.
I can't remember his now. Because I remember like the first two was Joker, then it was Penguin, and Val Kilmer. Who would he
I
fight?
think wasn't it Batman Forever?
Oh yeah, it wasn't the Joker and Two-Face was in that, right? Jim Carrey was Joker in that one.
Well, no, he wasn't the Joker. He was.
I mean the Riddler.
He was a Riddler.
Yeah, so that was Val Kilmer's.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that one was a little, kind of a little cheesy, I thought. But dude, the Batman. So that was Batman Forever.
I believe so. Yeah.
And then there's Batman and Robin.
I didn't see that one.
No, I don't know. That was with Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze and stuff, and George Clooney played Batman.
Yeah, that
was kind of like I think that's what ended that whole series. I was like, okay, we're done with this shit. Time for a new one, reboot.
So is that yours? The George Clooney Batman?
Yeah, I had to say so. With I think that's when they brought out the nipples on the suit,
Yeah.
and then you can see just the nipples. I think they even give who played. Wasn't it the Clueless girl that played?
Alicia Silverstone?
Yeah, didn't she play Batgirl?
Yeah, Catwoman maybe?
No, she played Batgirl in that
Batgirl.
movie, I thought. I think she even had nipples on her suit. I don't even remember. But I think that one was probably the worst one. As a kid, they were badass. But as you watch them when you're older, you're like, I don't know. Well, for their time, I guess they were all right. Speaking about Batman, here he is right here. The first two Batmans. Little Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice was a great movie. Batgirl, yep.
She was?
Batman and Robin was like the one you're talking about.
Yeah, I think Batman, Robin. Batman Forever, Batman and Robin. That has a toss-up. It's a toss-up between those two. As a kid, though, you thought they were awesome. I was like, fuck yeah, I wanted to be Batman. But
the latest ones are pretty good. My favorite Batman. I can't think of his name. He did the last three of them.
Christian Bale?
Christian, yeah. I'd have to say he's probably my favorite Batman.
My favorite Batman. His movies were good. I still think my favorite movie for Batman is the Dark Knight with Heath Ledger as a Joker. I think that
he's the best Joker.
Dude, I still think that
down.
movie was probably the best Batman movie I ever seen.
It was brutal. It was. They took it to a different level.
It made you feel like there's no hope. Like honestly, like he's sitting there beating the shit out of fucking Heath Ledger's Joker or whatever, and just beating him up. He's like, you have no power here. Like you have no power with anything other than your strength. You can't do shit. You know, I won basically. It's like fuck. Like so he's sitting there beating the fuck out of him. He trying to like, where is she? Beating the fuck out of this dude is like, you have nothing to do with your strength. Like you can't do shit to me. Like you can beat the shit out of me. I don't care. Kill me. But he can't break his number one rule. You know, that's the only thing. Speaking about, I used to get in a fight, like argument with one of my buddies about this. I was like, Batman fanatics, like whatever, Bat fanboys. Batman with prep time can beat the fuck out of anybody. He'll kill Jesus. You know, give him 5 minutes of prep time. Bet you he'll win. It's like, dude, Batman is great, but it's like I'm getting sick of like him not killing him. Like that's part of his job. You know, letting people go, especially like the Joker's killed so many people and he still lets them go. Like that's why I was like such a fan of, like Jason Todd, the Red Hood is you know the story about Jason Todd. He became the Red Hood. Long story short, he was like the second Robin because the first one was Dick Grayson. He became Nightwing, so he got a new Robin. It was basically Jason Todd, and he ends up getting killed by the Joker, and he comes out later because of some Ra's al Ghul, you know, the League of Shadows. Basically, he throws him in a Lazarus pit that keeps like brought him back to life. Basically, Ra's al Ghul is like known to be like this old, like martial artist, dark shadow dude that's been alive for I don't know how long, and he keeps getting and putting himself in this pit where it's like I don't know what it is. It's just a Lazarus pit. It's like a green goo shit that he jumps in and like basically makes him young again and keeps him alive for however long, forever, basically. And it was kind of his fault that the Joker killed Jason Todd. So knowing that, like, you know, he kind of taught Batman martial arts and all this stuff. Like he was part of the League of Shadows before he left it. And he basically thought like because Jason Todd died because of him, and knew like that was one of Batman's biggest mistakes, is letting him die kind of in a way. Is that he put him in the Lazarus pit and came back, so he was all like different. He changed his Jason character, Robin character, and he comes back and he sees that Batman still hasn't killed Joker, and he sees the way Batman's like basically all these criminals he locks up, they get out eventually again and start killing again. And Jason Todd's like, I'm gonna take it in my hands. And he starts fucking blasting like gangster mobs, you know, all this stuff, like using basically killing justice, like kind of like a Punisher.
Yeah.
And you know, he comes back and he's like, you know, kind of going after Batman in a way too. He's like, you never killed it, so I'm gonna finish what you started, you know, and do it better. He wants to kill the Joker, so he sets up this thing where he basically gets the Joker and gives Batman a choice to kill him. And if he doesn't, then he's like, you didn't give a shit about me, like. And I kind of like that side of like this character Red Hood, because I feel like justice is better served like that way. In real world, you start realizing that Punisher and the Red Hood style is probably the way you want to go in the real world, because I don't think like court system and shit's just so broken.
Yeah.
You got people living in jail that's murdered people and they're still alive and they're not put down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're catering to them.
Yeah, it's fucking like they've killed so many people. Like, end it. Why are we paying for this motherfucker to stay alive? Like, I think that's my opinion, you know, and vigilantes, you know. So I feel like, you know, the whole Batman thing is like, man, it's getting dragged out. Like, and I think more people are realizing like, oh yeah, maybe
It's time to kind of bring it into the now.
yeah, it's time to. I mean, they did. I think they made I don't know what world, but they made a Batman Thomas Wayne where his dad, like they switched up the story where the mom becomes a Joker and Thomas Wayne becomes Batman, and Bruce is the one that died when as a kid.
Shit.
Yeah, they came out the whole new, you know, because comic books have different universes and stuff, you know, so it's a different, I think, world too. I don't know what it was, but yeah, where Thomas Wayne actually uses guns and shit. So it's kind of a cool Batman.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that. I don't mind the darker sides of movies, you know. Having too many happy endings is
You gotta be happy though, man. I can't watch a sad movie and be like, oh, it ends sad. Oh, fuck.
You gotta have well, I mean, you know, life is sadness.
Somewhat it is, dude. I remember we were talking and I was telling you, like, you know, we were sitting there talking about stuff and I was like, it's like basically we're working and like making someone else's dreams come true. You know, because I told you how I hated like when people like, oh, how you doing? And like, you know, someone repeats, oh, you know, living the dream. I hear that all the fucking time at work, or like you talk to somebody, oh, how you doing? Oh, you know, living the dream. And it's like, and I always tell them like, yeah, I'm just living someone else's dream. You know, making shit happen for them. You know, it's kind of sad thinking about this. Like, fuck this corporate working shit. I can't stand like how the world has become and with the money and just.
Yeah,
it's a big issue, but you know, if I can be a comic book hero, I'll be like a Dragon Ball Z. I'll be an AIM anime character. I'll be like Goku, just fucking power, flying around, kind of like a Superman, but I hate Superman.
There was there's a podcast I was listening to, Kevin Smith's, and it was like 4 minutes, and he was speaking with his guest, and he asked his guest, you know, if you could have a superpower, which one would it be? You know, and I didn't really think about a lot of them, but I actually considered, I think for Kevin, it was the power of patience.
Power of patience.
Yeah, and
man, if you could pick anything, I would not pick that. Like, fuck, dude. Like, really, patience? Like, you can do that with a human, like normal. Like, you can.
Well, how many people are patient though?
Yeah. But I mean, you have to be in some, you know, some way or another. You have to be patient sometimes.
Yeah.
Like you can learn.
I'm not a patient person. If I had the power of patience, yeah, simply put, I'd be a lot more laid back. But shit irritates me, and people, people in general, can irritate the fuck out of me. Because, you know, what is it? Is a person is smart and people are stupid, or is it the other way around?
I don't know. I just think there's dicks. Fat vaginaism was what I call it. I hate it. But if I could have power, I don't know what I want like super strength, something that makes me like unstoppable, like, you know, because I would take down these corporate fucks. I would take down all this like terrorist shit and anything like that would happen. somewhere or another just become like a hero like that. And the thing is too, like watching like all these like Netflix series on like Daredevil and Iron Fist, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and not even the movies, Avengers and stuff. I would not want my identity out. You know, like they always say like, oh, costumes and the heroes all dumb, but it's like, no, it's because the mask ain't there to protect you. The suit's not there to protect you and make you look cool. I mean, sometimes it is to make you look cool, but it's more to protect the people you love around you. If no one knows who you are, that makes you even more dangerous. And also, you're not vulnerable to like coming home and like your family's dead. You know what I'm saying? And so the mask and stuff is like the suit is more to like protect people you love and trust around you.
You'll need more than just eyeliner.
Yeah, you don't need or like fucking Superman. Oh yeah, I gelled my hair and wore glasses, and now that's like what the fuck were these writers thinking back then? Like, oh yeah, no one knows who he is. It's like, oh man.
If I could take a superpower, I would choose immortality. And a lot of people would disagree with that because of, the constant, perpetual loss of loved ones and people you get close to and stuff like that. But I would definitely take immortality because it covers the entire spectrum. If you can't die, then it doesn't matter how you kill someone. It's the fact that you eventually will.
Yeah.
And I guess I should probably reword that. Someone probably, obviously I'm more talking about the evil element in life, but all it is a matter of time. Now you're getting into a little bit of patience, but if you know that they can't kill you, then do whatever you want.
That is kind of crazy.
It does it covers the whole spectrum. So then you start getting creative.
That could also bring out
maybe that's the cynical part of me.
That could always bring out like the evilness in somebody too. Yeah. You always hear about like these ancient people that took over the world that were immortal and stuff, kind of like vampire stories and all this, and like the movie Queen of the Damned, kind of like, they live forever. They can die. Like these vampire people can die, but like they live and see time and they get bored eventually, and then. In the movie, there's a character that wants to come out and basically say, like, why are we hiding? Like, we're more powerful than these humans. And it's like, why do we have to hide? Like, it's like, let's come out. And, like, there's like, a code for the vampire, people. Like, you're not supposed to come out or something. But he starts, like, making, like, music, like, vampire music and stuff. Like, basically letting them know that he's out there and stuff, that we are real. That's kind of what I like that movie. That soundtrack is awesome, too.
Yeah.
So. But, I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's a good one, too. Like, you can't die. It's like, fuck. So someone like me that had superpowers and, like, I had to stop you, I'm like, I'm not going to be able to fucking. But you can't die. But since I had power, super strength, I can lock you up forever. So think about if someone – it's because you have all your powers is that you can't die. No strength, no nothing. So if I locked you up in this chamber where, like, you can't get out, you're going to be locked up forever.
Yeah.
By another mutant like me.
That does pose a predicament.
Yeah, see, like I just thought of how to close you out unless someone lets you out. But like, I mean, of course, the government probably find a way to use you. Be like, we'll give you freedom if you do this for us. Like, you can't die unless the world blows up and then you survive it and you're just in space floating until you find another planet.
It's kind of similar to what was that TV show, Freak Show. That was one of the seasons, but one of the characters in there was cursed with immortality, but she was buried alive. So, hundreds of years down the road, she was eventually dug up, and there she was. She just suffered, like you said. You're just suffering there in a closed, confined area, until someone opens the door.
Like if you die, you're just in your bodies, like your soul's trapped and you're buried.
Yeah,
that'd be scary. That'd be very scary.
So I guess there's always something about the downside to the superpower.
Yeah,
there's, like I said, you can close the door at some point. Find the loophole or whatever.
I'd be like a Robin Hood though. A little bit of stealing, a little bit of that, but giving back to the people who need it. I mean, plus these the big ass rich people in the world steal. They don't pay taxes. they do a lot of shit. They go, they have lawyers and they get away with a lot of shit in life. Money's power. So it's like, well, why not give back? So if I was a superhero, I'd do that.
Yeah. I suppose it makes you feel, it gives you a better.
It's like I'm doing something bad, but I'm doing it for good.
Yeah.
Justice for the family. It has a family. That's a good one though, man. Because it makes people think about like what you would do and stuff. And I always say like, if I was rich motherfucker, I'd probably be doing bad shit, too. I'd probably be on. I don't know. If I was a celebrity, you'd probably see me on there. Oh, this dude just coked out, just crashed into a fucking building. Look at him go. It's stupid. Or I could be good, or I could be good, delivering wheelchairs to people who need them in different countries. And who knows, man?
I think I think with anything, you get complacent, or maybe that's the wrong word. Like you say, you kind of get bored, so you got to kind of spice it up. You up the value a little bit. So with the punishment part of it, how far do you go?
Depends on the crime. Depends on what this person did, man. If they're fucking sick, psycho, you just found out this dude just, killed some babies or something. Fuck, he's dead. In my eyes, it's fucking. But I would make him suffer.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be ending just snapping the neck. I would fucking break fingers first and, toes, legs, kneecap, bust out a kneecap. I'll let this person suffer for a while. Then I'll probably eventually, okay, yeah, I gotta end it. But no, as a justice and serving, it's like, yeah, justice served.
Yeah, keep him on the edge with like an IV and yeah.
Dude, someone was telling me about this movie. I never watched it. And they told me to watch it. I never did. But there was this dude that I don't know if he raped some little girl or something, and this guy goes after him, and I have no idea because I don't know the movie.
What you're talking about.
Where he watches himself getting mutilated.
Yeah, there's a mirror up on top.
Yes.
And he dismembers
I always
him.
thought about that. Like he drugs him up. He doesn't feel anything, but he's watching himself getting like basically chopped up.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that always got me. I was like, fuck, can you imagine that? Eventually, that person would pass out in real life, I think, because of the blood loss. And not only that, but like you're sitting in your body, and I bet you your heart will give out after seeing that.
I think.
What movie is that, anyways?
I'm trying to figure out who the Jamie Foxx was the good guy in it. He was trying to without knowing the facts and stuff. Yeah, he lost a family member, and so this guy basically kind of does the justice thing as well. He goes after the people, but Jamie Foxx's character is trying to convince him, hey, this is not the right way to be handling this, and he gives him, he does everything he can in his power, to, convince him that, choose a different path. And in the end, he made the wrong decision, and spoiler alert, he ends up he kills himself because he's got a bomb underneath the seat, and the bomb was for somebody else, but Fox's character ended up putting it underneath his seat, and he's like, if you make the right decision, then you'll be fine, but if you choose the dark path, then it's gonna end bad for you. So I'll have to figure out what that was. It was a pretty good one, though.
So I guess that's a extreme take on how you'd make someone suffer, but dude, like some people deserve that shit, And man, I don't know. Maybe it's just a sick, twisted side of me. I'll be a bad hero or something.
I think a lot of people would. All the bad shit in the world, that we have to endure. A lot of people want vengeance.
Yeah, that's a bitch. Everybody says like, oh, if Purge was real, or if you can get away with stuff. Like, it's like, bro, dude, probably everybody would be dead. Like I'd probably be dead. Or everybody's like, oh, I'd kill this, and it's like, dude, you know how many people would go after you though too? It's like, it'd be like a shit show. But this is basically what the podcast is gonna be about. Just kind of random topics. Right now, we just want to have fun with it and have people watching it. And hopefully, our guests will have fun. And, just talk about random shit.
Cool.
So I guess that'll be episode 1 right there.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.
I'm Louie, and this is Brien. So, back.